most people on Facebook went to it like they didn't want to go on. It's that, like, I remember when I was on MySpace. I went on MySpace because everyone was on, and they said, I'm going to send you a message. I had to go on it. Then Facebook, I didn't want to switch, and everyone was, I went kicking and screaming. And then now I went to Google early because I saw that it's good for my business, I think, in the long run. I want to learn it.
Yeah.
But most people, I mean, my wife, she loves Facebook. She would have nothing against Google Plus if everyone was here, but why is she going to move? What I've said to people is eventually you're going to be on, because if you have an Android phone, if you use YouTube, if you have Gmail, you're going to have an account.
It all kind of funnels into Google Plus.
Right. Do you know what's weird? What's weird is I actually, at the moment, because I had to go onto Facebook for some business reasons, and it annoyed me because I actually wanted to leave Facebook, and then I ended up there more. So actually, at the moment, I'm spending more time on Facebook than I am on Google Plus. But if either one of them went down tomorrow, just went away tomorrow, I would waste not 1 second and not one tear over Facebook, but I would be destroyed about Google Plus going.
I'm the same.
And that's not even just on me spending time places, because I spend more time on Facebook, but this means more to me.
Well, do you think
depends on what you do, I think. I look at these like they're tools. I'm not anti anything. I look at everything as something you can use.
Facebook's a tool. Google Plus, I think, I don't know, it feels different.
It's community.
Do you think if Facebook had Facebook has subscriptions now. Do you think that if Facebook had Hangouts and you could hang out with, like, now I know that, I mean, would you guys try Hangouts? They have video, but would you guys try Hangouts on Facebook? Or do you think that would be terrible? Or do you think no one would do it?
Terrible. I would. It's just a different people. I mean, all my readers are on Facebook. I'm stupid not to go over there more often, but I just don't want to. I've got, tens and thousands of fans who read my stuff and buy my books and my writing and all that shit. Right. And I don't even go on there. It's counterintuitive. Yeah. And I don't like it.
Well, you can sell stuff through Facebook too, right? Like you can actually directly sell things. I think.
If I'm not, you gotta pay for it though. But I mean,
the thing I love about Facebook that I wish I had on Google Plus, honestly, is the people on Facebook have known me for years. They are my people. They get my sense of humor. I can post a photo. Like, oh my God, LOL. I come over here, oh God, I cannot believe you just posted that. That is so da-da-da-da-da.
Well, you can't take everything Eric Rice says.
But when you're broadcasting to tens of thousands of strangers versus people that know your sense of humor, there's a huge
But again, it's to do with circle management.
Ends up a flaming war.
It's to do with circle management. If you make everything public, that's going to happen.
You don't have to post public.
Then what's the... So don't post it public, but then people wonder, I haven't, where have you been, Annika? You've been gone for 2 weeks. No, I haven't.
I'm just shit what other people think.
Well,
where have you been?
You can only circle 5,000 people, and I refuse to circle that many.
So one of the big flaws, too, is that if you don't, for some reason, I don't know if it's the algorithm or because Google wants to push public, but it seems to me that if you hang out public or you invite or you post public, your circles see it. There's a better chance of them seeing it than when you just post circles, which is really weird. But that is the way it works. So people are afraid to post public, but then they post extended or your circles, but then they seem to miss
everything public. I don't give a shit.
All right, it's weird why that happens, but I think it does happen. I think Google is because look, Google's like, oh, most people don't post public; they post limited. But then they're like, all the companies and people that care about us can't measure our stats, so of course we want to push people to post public. In fact, there was a What's Hot post that was just put out by one guy from Google saying, hey, look, you want to use public because this is why, because then more people will interact.
Why do they care if things are what's hot? I don't understand this popular, unless I guess if
because
social media is your job. Okay, well, yeah, if that's your job.
It's not, Google's not a charity, maybe something to do with that. I don't know.
No. I'm saying why people, individuals need the fame. Like why? Like if anything,
well, that has to do to fill a void in their life.
I
don't know.
Who knows?
Sometimes.
I had to delete
a lot of people that love
because NBC asked me to. Like I do not want to be. I don't want all the. I don't need.
You had to delete tweets because NBC asked you.
What was Dave going to say?
I was going to say that one of the reasons I think these things, the Facebook and Twitter and this are popular, are everybody does want to be famous, and so many people when you post, oh my God, this post is going to get so many pluses, likes, shares. It's going to be the greatest thing. And then you post it, no one cares.
Yeah, but you know what? I think anybody
people that work in social media do.
It never does. When you think about shit too much, it never works. If you just are who you are, those are the people that eventually end up
I don't think everybody wants to be famous.
No,
I have friends that want to Google Plus.
Wait, they might not want to be famous, but everyone might not want to be famous, but everyone wants to be listened to. They want their stuff, they want to be heard.
Everyone wants to be significant. I mean, this is what I was saying about the article I wrote last month for Writing Magazine, that Tony Robbins says there's 6 different human needs, which I'm now going to forget because I'm on the spot, but there's significance. No, there's basically it's things that actually kind of contradict each other as well. Yeah, somebody else can Google them and then you can tell me what they are, because once I've written an article I forget it. I can't believe I just put that out live, but anyway. So yeah, basically people want
people are watching.
People want significance, and they want certainty, but they also want uncertainty. So they want the certainty. I mean, this is why social networks are so addictive, because you have the certainty that there are people you know out there, but and they're gonna, that certain people are gonna react in certain ways, but you have the uncertainty of whether this lolcat picture that you think is gonna go viral actually will or not. And it's like a gambling thing. Like, you put something up and you have an expectation, and then it flops, and you're like, oh my god.
Okay, but when it doesn't,
how do I tweak it?
But when it doesn't flop,
it kind of gamifies it.
So when it doesn't flop, and your little cat gets popular, and then after it gets popular, then what happens? You get addicted. You need to do it again, right? So,
yeah, I mean, basically, if somebody's got an addictive personality, and particularly if they're driven by if they're driven by external appreciation rather than having an internal locus of identity, which you'll remember from the Big Bang Theory, it was mentioned. But if you have that internal sense of who you are and drive and everything, then it kind of only matters for about 2 seconds whether something you post is popular or not, or whether your follower number or circle number goes up. But if you're somebody who derives your sense of self and identity from what other people around you say, then it really is so important how those posts go, and that's when it becomes addictive to people, when they don't.
And that's how the SEO people make all their money. By saying, here's how you get popular. Here's how you get +1s. Here's how you do this.
Does that actually lead
interesting content?
Does that actually lead to them making a lot of money, though? Because I've had we were talking to Chris Perillo, and Eric Rice was saying he's one of the few people he's seen that can literally just make money hand over fist via YouTube videos. And I see these people that want to be really famous. They're like, oh, please plus this, please share this. Are you getting money from that? Like, is there like an affiliate program? Because I don't
understand. Videos, there's AdSense.
No, not YouTube. I mean on Google Plus, because I don't see why it matters how many people shared your lolcat.
Well, it's social media matters.
Follow the rest of your stuff.
Sorry,
I can't believe that your show devolved into a monetization debate.
No, so Monica,
I'm wondering. We're talking about
we're reminiscing of that
people needing the attention on the internet, and I'm just wondering, like, why. I don't understand the benefit of that.
It's evolved to philosophy, actually. That's pretty interesting.
Sometimes it's just personal. People want attention. When we had a baby shower, and my wife posted the pictures, she's like, oh, we got lots of likes. I mean, and so-and-so liked this picture, and it's just like entertaining. You're seeing who cares or something.
But that's also about your personal life. That's about a baby. That's about an event in your life. They're not liking a lolcat. They're not liking something you got off Reddit. They're liking this event. They're happy for you and what you're going through in your life.
Right. Well, then there's the being an entertainer. That's the I don't even know what a lolcat is or whatever, but I share some YouTube and people care. That means people follow my page and they like things I choose. And then, but as far as SEO, because I'm involved in that, my company, SEO has always been for Google is they want to know who's an authority. And who is an authority is somebody who, when they say something, people listen, comment, share that thought, and then they say, okay, this person is an authority. So that's kind of the whole objective.
Absolutely. But then that goes back to that being
shares are affirmations of your authority-ness.
Okay. So that goes back to you. It's kind of like, I think the only people that should really care about their clout are people that have an internet-based kind of fame of some sort. Because for me, a high clout score could actually be detrimental because I do things that they want to make sure that, you know, I'm actually doing shit, not just posting about things on the internet. So it's like especially if I get a job at Caltech, they don't care who I am on the internet. They care what I can do in the lab. So the internet popularity.
They wouldn't appreciate you spending hours and hours in a Hangout then?
You know what?
Not during the job. Not during my job. I mean, right now I'm fortunate enough that I work.
No, I know. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it sarcastic.
Let me put this into perspective because look, Facebook and Twitter have their thing or whatever, and people are on Facebook and Twitter, and I'm sure there are people that want to be famous and popular on Facebook and Twitter. But for the most part, I think most people, I could be wrong, we're not thinking, oh, we'll become famous or popular on Facebook and Twitter. I think. And then Google Plus came out, and they're like, we are the Google Plus project. We don't know what we are. We are new. We're starting it. Here's beta. You're invited. Everyone showed up, and they're like, okay, what is this place? There's a Hangout. There's this. There's that. Looks like Facebook. They started posting.
The first week.
And they started using it. And then all of a sudden, like, everyone had all these different ideas of what it is or what it could be because it wasn't necessarily defined for them, and Google didn't necessarily know. And so all these people came in and they started to mold and do what they thought it was, or everyone had their own ideas of what they thought it was, and they formed groups and hangouts, and like this side said, oh, you cannot +1 unless it's this, or what is a +1, what it means. So that was what it was, is that everyone came in with their own ideas, and then like that's what led us here versus Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead, Monica.
This is Google's modus operandi. This is how they experiment, and they see what works. They open projects, they see how they take off. If they don't take off, then they don't take off. And so, yes, we're part of an ongoing experiment right now in this very Hangout, in which we are discussing the ongoing experiment in which we are a part of. We so meta.
We're meta.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, one thing that irritates me.
I prefer to pronounce it the British way.
I agree with you on that.
Because I'm so meta.
Yeah, I see a lot of people that have a high follower count, and if you go through their posts, it's literally just like one freaking quote after another, outdated shit from the late 90s. I'm like, is this really making a comeback? Like, because I've seen this a million times, and now they're getting 1,000 pluses on it. I'm like, is that really what the Google Plus is about?
Don't confuse those who have figured out ways to exploit the system to make it onto these what's hot areas,
or like the suggestion
with those who would genuinely make it onto what's hot with great content.
I think
I see very many things on the what's hot list that have great content, to be honest with you. Usually
I came in a Hangout at Robert Downey Jr.'s house, and nobody was here.
There are some amazing things.
Like nobody wants. He's not a lol cat.
There are some amazing things that top that list.
On occasion, yeah.
But there are some things from, I'm looking at you, quotes everlasting, that are not profound, that are about your boyfriend, that are clearly being passed around by 16 or 17-year-olds or maybe even 14-year-olds, because they come from Pinterest or something. But such is life.
But it's I mean, that's downplaying connection. Not everybody is eloquent. So for a lot of people, if you have something that's a quote that's been written by some dead author that is profound, that means something, that you can read it and it means something and you want to share that feeling with someone else, and you're not somebody who's eloquent, why the hell shouldn't you share that quote?
Oh, so that's a difference. Like when it's actually a quote from Albert Einstein and it's genuinely a sourced quote and it's profound, that's true. That's worthy of being reshared. But I can point you to a couple of quotes that have made it to the top recently that don't really have any meaning, or they're misattributed, or they're just plain not good.
I think, honestly,
most of my friends won't come over from Facebook, or most of the people won't, because some of them have come over and said that everybody here is snobs.
Well, there's that.
I hear that all the time.
There's
The
that.
I hear that a lot.
They're the most
There's that.
pretentious of the internet.
So what? A 30-year-old man likes boobs. That's what he likes.
Makes
Okay,
sense.
you know, and that's what they want to read.
I did make it all night, Monica.
Everything has meaning.
Hey, Mike Jones,
Wow,
welcome
and
back.
now we're cycling back to an even older.
Whoa, what's the judgment call?
So, hey, you know what, though?
Come on now.
Whether you post about cats or whatever, you can do what you want, but I think at the end of the day, the real value, the real experience, the real whatever is about who did you make, what are your connections, what did you, friends, relationships, network, whatever, what is that experience like, and what do you do with it? Is it, yeah, Mike, this is your third visit, and that's really what it's about. So, at the end of the day, you could have billions, gazillions of followers, millions, and gazillions of plus ones, and nobody wants to come to your, no one wants to buy your art, no one's buying your CD, no one's coming to your concert, and I could have, and any one of us could have none of those numbers, and people want to hang out with us, and they want to come see what we're doing. And so at the end of the day, it's really about, I don't really want to use clout, but it's about, like, what is it about you versus, like,
what makes
what I
you
mean?
magnetic?
So I could post
Interactions and connections.
I could post, someone could post 1 million cat pictures, and everyone's like, oh yeah, that's so-and-so. They post 1 million cat pictures, or they can say, oh, Matthew, he does this, he does that, he does that. But, at the end of the day, attention span, it's easier to plus one a cat video than plus one what we're doing even in here. Because maybe they don't understand it or they don't get it. Like, someone from anywhere in the world knows what a cat is, and they're like, oh, look, there's a cat, I could plus one it. But they don't necessarily understand what we're doing now as simple or as easy. So it's that is the big thing.
It is a little disheartening that you can post about, like, you can post about the Raspberry Pi project 1 million times and all these great things about it, but until it makes the what's hot list and all of a sudden Gizmodo picked it up, the average person doesn't care about it. And then when you're posting your projects after that wave of popularity and you're like, hey, look what I've done with my Raspberry Pi. Okay, yeah, that's nice, but that's not on the what's hot list.
But that's human nature, and that's exactly what you were talking about earlier on when you were talking about internet dating. When you were saying you like internet dating because you get to check everything out, basically you get to trust people ahead of time.
Well,
this is pre-liked. Once everyone in your social graph has liked something, you can trust it to look at it, and there's not going to be some horrible, horrific thing at the end of it, or it's not going to challenge you too much when you're busy. And that's the deal, I think, with the kind of with memes and stuff, is that it's pre-tested. That's all it is. It's like, I want to laugh, that's something that's going to make me laugh,
heavy, deep thought, philosophical, if you're fortunate enough to have a lot of those people in your circles, that's great, but a lot of people come here just to unwind.
For the topical, which, I do a lot of topical stuff as well, but, and I also tend to look at everything like, if my employer or if the government, if they were going to contract me for a job and they searched for me, what's the kinds of things I want to come up? Do I really want to fight with my boyfriend to show up on the internet? Do I really need to be talking about my political views on the internet? No. The DARPA grant should be revolved around what I do for a living, which is robotics. That sort of stuff. That's why that's the face I put out. The thing I love about Hangouts is I can be anybody in a Hangout. I can talk about whatever. I can curse, and I'm not going to be asked, hey, could you please delete that? It's offensive to our cause.
Pause 1 second. Hey, Dave Levine, thank you for stopping by, and thanks for that crazy, nice little wig and giving some perspective on your own life. Is cool. Thanks.
All right. We'll see you soon. And I remember to tell people next week I'm doing a Sextoy.com trivia contest with Matt.
Yes, in a week you get to find out what sex toys really where they came from.
Who knows?
Where do sex toys come from, Mommy? Okay.
All right. See you later.
Go.
Have fun.
Yeah. You better be caught up in your sleep by then, Matt.
I will do my best. I will catch up. Coffee and stuff. And this all started too because we were talking about relationship. We were talking about meeting each other and why it's so powerful. Like because Rebecca had asked me about how it's changed me over the last year and all that, and so that's where this all stemmed from. And so when Mark Rodriguez takes his time to make a movie mashup with me, that is worth a gazillion, bazillion, quadrillion animated GIFs, cat pictures, whatever that someone found on Reddit. Because and you know what? Who just popped in?
I agree with you. The original content where somebody spent their time and effort is going to get a lot more of my attention than just something that got reposted.
No, so at the end of the day, so if Mark posts one of his movie mashups and it gets 20 plus ones and 20 comments and whatever, and then that, so what? That is still, I think most people, if you showed a movie mashup, but then the other thing about the movie mashup is, and maybe this is part of it, is if people don't know who those people are in the movie mashup, maybe that becomes, then there's that,
it's
then
too
maybe
personal kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a bit of a disconnect sometimes for people. Some people think it's the actual poster. If they're done, sometimes they think that's I'm just posting a movie poster. They don't even realize that it's actually is somebody else in the picture. You know what I mean? That have swapped out. So they're just thinking, why is he posting?
Or they don't realize
poster?
You created it. They think you just found it on the internet and don't give it any extra.
Or they just don't know who the people are. They think the people are the people in the movie. They don't realize they're people from Google Plus.
That's your question. Do you guys post just for the plus ones? Because I don't.
I don't.
No.
I don't even look at the
plus ones. Don't even work usually. I don't even see them all the time.
Well, I mean, I do it for the children.
No,
but really,
I write because I write, and I'm a writer, and that's what I do. I put it out on there, poetry and blog posts and recovery stuff, and whatever, and do shows for the same reason. Not so much for who's going to like and who's not, because frankly, I can't really speak to that.
Also, it can be a good therapy thing,
Yes,
I had a therapist. What's funny is I had a therapist who was encouraging me to keep a journal, and I was like, "You mean like on the internet, like a blog?" And she's like, "No, avoid the internet." But this was some years ago. But she said because you're going to get feedback that's not, you're going to get people that take it out of context, and it was kind of more personal stuff, like dealing with the loss of a parent, stuff like that. That you just don't need the public to. The only thing anybody can say is, "I'm sorry for your loss," and that's, I already know people.
I guess that's the whole thing about a journal is you write it, or for me, my personal blog is that you write it so it's out there. I don't really even go back sometimes and look at the responses because I don't really care. I don't
my personal
callous,
I don't.
You write it to write it, and some things you want interaction, and some things it doesn't really matter what anybody else does. I've written about domestic violence and being in an abusive relationship. I was a mental health therapist and addiction specialist and all those things. And it's like, okay, what other people say doesn't really matter. It's about putting it out there. So that's just my difference, I guess.
So if you're an addiction specialist, I'm really interested in what you think about addiction and social media.
Oh, there's certainly, there's certainly a component of that. It's not a physiological addiction. It's more of a psychological thing. But it's the attention seeking. It's the, not having to put a whole lot of effort into your personal self, and you can be anything that you want to be. A lot of people who misuse it and abuse it. But it absolutely has a psychological thread through it where it's very addictive to get the attention. Especially you see all these women posting pictures of cleavage and duck faces and, women get a lot of attention that way from men, and then vice versa. So absolutely. It's nothing new to what we haven't already said, so.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's not a physiological addiction such as alcoholism or, but it definitely is crack for the brain.
Hey Shawn, welcome back.